So this is Gary again with Helm of Sun Valley in San Mateo, California, and in this video I want to talk about stretching a shell of a boot, of a ski boot. So we'll just dive right into it here. First thing we've already done, and in previous videos we've marked the spot where we're going to need to stretch. And if you look at some of the previous videos, we've discussed methods on how to do that. And again, I'll just reiterate again, we don't want to use a Sharpie, because a Sharpie will stain the boot and really will not come out. So we do not want to use that to mark the boot. We want to use a wax pencil. It's really the best, just to mark it where we're gonna go. I wouldn't just mark it like that. I would use the techniques that I discussed earlier in some of the other videos. So now, with boot stretching, the key thing is here is to heat things thoroughly. So what we want to do is we're going to stretch this inside ankle bone here, which is probably the second most common kind of stretch that we do. We want to go from the inside to the outside, keeping the gun moving from the inside to the outside. And thorough penetration of the heat is really the key here to getting a good lasting stretch. If you just do a cursory, quick heating, the plastic will tend to retract in a short period of time, maybe a few weeks or so. So again, we want to really make it thorough, heat it up slowly. We don't want to just jam the gun in there and raise the outside temperature to 400 degrees. At the same time, we don't want to heat it too fast either, because if I just hold the gun right there, up close, it'll bubble the plastic and melt the outside of the plastic, and that's what we don't want. We want a visually good-looking stretch too. So, again, thorough heating, making it go all the way to the inside. And I can use this, my infrared temperature sensing device, which is very handy to take the temperature. And ultimately, we're looking for 300, 330 degrees on your good quality plastics. This happens to be a good quality PU. And to discuss that just for a minute, I'm going to stop stretching here. To discuss plastics, here I have a lower grade plastic, and these are in boots like $200, blended plastics they call this. A lot of junior boots will have this type of plastic too. This will melt very quickly. So if you're ever stretching this, you can't go nearly as hot, and you have to be very slow with the heat gun. And the way you tell this is inferior plastic is by taking your fingernail, and it marks relatively easily. I can put a line relatively easily into the shell. Whereas if I take this high quality stuff, it's very difficult to make a mark with my my fingernail. That's the indicator of a lower quality plastics, which you need to be aware of. So we continue heating, get it to a good 300 degrees. Okay, we will pretend that it is nice and thorough. We've been doing this for quite a while. Now, when I'm heating other spots, I can use wet rags to help protect. Like if I were doing a 4-foot stretch here, I'll use a wet rag to make a dam so that I'm not heating areas where I don't want to heat. And I'll take it and fold it up and drape it in different ways so that I'm just exposing the area that I want to heat here. That's a key thing. If we heat the whole boot up and stretch it, it'll deform in ways that we really don't want it to deform in. So it's very important. There's many other methods to creating guards too. Some people will use cut pieces of cardboard with foil around them and that sort of thing to use it as a guard so that you're not heating areas that you really don't want to heat. So that's the important thing. Thorough heating, heating only the areas that you want to stretch. Okay, thorough and slow heating. Okay, so from there, we want to choose the ball that we're going to use. And there's many different sizes. There's small, a little bit bigger, and then we have oval balls. And then you have different the other sides too, where you can have small rings, big ring, or something like this. Generally, I like to use the big one. So in this case, I'm going to use this medium ball here, and I've just got to heat it up, and I don't want to delay between heating it and bringing it into the press either. I want to bring it very quickly. Now another thing that we can use is this is a high density rubber that we can put in here, and what this is going to do is eliminate the mark that the metal ring would normally put in the boot. If I were just to do this, press it down real hard, a lot of times there'll be an impression from the ring, and that's kind of ugly. So if I take this rubber device there, place it in there, it's going to eliminate that ugly mark. So and from here I can just let it sit like this, and I can take a wet rag or if I'm up in the mountains, I can go out and get some snow and put it on the boot, and that'll suck the heat energy out of the plastic and hurry up that process a little bit. Or I can just let it cool naturally like this too. And then if I wanted to do more of a general stretch, depending on what I wanted to do and that kind of thing, I don't have to leave it there. I can stretch it and work this around to different spots if I want to stretch more of a general area. So there's many methods of stretching this. But for this method, I'm just going to do this one here. And then let it cool, and then we have a big bump here when we're done. So I'll just let it sit there, and we'll come back to that after it's cooled and see what it looks like. So we've let this cool down. Let's take it out and see what kind of ankle stretch we've got here. And you can see this is an over-exaggeration. I've sort of made it a little bigger than I would normally make it. This person would have one heck of a big inside ankle bone. But that's what you can do. And no ring mark because we use the high density rubber. And you just created a monstrous hole. I don't know if you can see that in there. Monstrous hole inside there to accommodate that a really big inside ankle bone. Alright, so that's how you stretch a boot.